Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're breaking down a common myth in the world of dating and relationships. A belief that's been repeated so often, most men take it as truth. Women only care about money. But here's the reality. Yes, financial stability has its place, but it's far from the full picture. In fact, women are hardwired to respond to something much deeper. Not wealth, but who you are at your core. And that's the good news. Because what truly attracts a woman, what draws her in and keeps her there, are traits that you can build through intention, purpose, and self-discipline. Traits that Stoic philosophy has quietly emphasized for over 2,000 years. In this video, we'll explore 6 powerful qualities that women value even more than money, and how you can embody them starting today. Let's dive in. 1. Commanding energy. The power of poise. You don't have to be loud to be felt. In fact, the men who speak the least often carry the most weight. There's a quiet intensity that surrounds a man who has nothing to prove. He doesn't puff his chest or demand validation. He simply is. That's real power. Because when your energy is composed, when your movements are intentional and unhurried, you signal to the world that your value is not up for debate. You don't chase approval, you attract respect. Not because you're trying to, but because you're rooted in something deeper, self-mastery. Think about it. When a truly grounded man enters a room, people feel it. He's not trying to impress anyone. He's not nervously scanning the room for reactions. He anchors the environment, whether it's in a business meeting, a date, or just walking into a bar. His calm cuts through the static. I remember seeing a man like this at a leadership seminar once. He barely said a word, but when he finally spoke, the room went dead silent. He had no flashy suit, no loud voice, just presence. That kind of energy doesn't come from ego. It comes from alignment. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your thoughts are scattered, insecure, needy, your energy reflects that. But if your mind is clear, disciplined, and anchored in purpose, you become a man of gravity, a man others orbit around. Not because you're loud, but because you're still. Stoicism teaches that true strength is internal. You don't need to dominate people to earn their respect. You just need to master yourself. In a world full of men yelling to be noticed, be the one who radiates silence and still gets heard. That's commanding energy. That's the power of poise. 2. Social flow. Emotional intelligence in action. There's a rare kind of man who walks into a room and instantly shifts the energy. Not because he demands attention, but because his presence commands it. He's not the loudest. He's not trying to impress anyone. But people gravitate toward him. Why? Because he understands the rhythm of connection. He listens deeply. He speaks when it matters. And when he does, every word lands with weight. That's social flow. That's emotional intelligence in action. Not showmanship, but mastery of self and the space around you. This kind of man knows how to read a room. He can sense tension and cut through it with calm. He spots someone being left out and brings them in without making it awkward. He doesn't dominate a conversation, he elevates it. Think of that one guy at a family gathering or a business dinner. He doesn't need to raise his voice, but when he leans in with something to say, even the loudest go quiet. That's not charisma. That's awareness. It's knowing that making others feel seen is more powerful than being seen yourself. Epictetus said it best. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Stoicism isn't about being cold or distant. It's about being so grounded in yourself that you're not chasing approval. You're building connection. And women, they see that. They see how a man treats the waiter, how he makes his friends feel important, how he doesn't hijack the spotlight but shares it. In that behavior, they see safety, strength, and emotional maturity, things no amount of money can buy. And here's the truth. A man who earns respect in every room he walks into rarely has to chase anything, because the world leans in to listen. 3. Unshakable confidence, built from within. Real confidence doesn't shout. It doesn't wear designer clothes to get noticed, and it doesn't need to dominate a room to feel powerful. Real confidence is silent strength. It's the kind of power that doesn't tremble when the world is uncertain. It's forged in solitude, sharpened by adversity, and rooted in self-respect. Confidence isn't something you borrow from praise or attention. It's something you earn by facing yourself. You see, most men are stuck chasing approval. They chase money, status, women, because they think that once they have those things, they'll finally feel worthy. But that's backwards. True confidence starts before success. It's built when you keep your word to yourself, when you face discomfort head-on, and when you walk through failure without losing your identity. It's walking into a room and not needing anyone to like you, because you already like you. Seneca said it best, "He who is brave is free." Confidence is courage in its purest form. It's the courage to walk away from anything that insults your soul. It's the courage to not perform. When you radiate that calm, grounded energy, it impacts everything around you. Women notice. They feel safe, not because you're controlling or boastful, but because you're anchored. You don't need her to complete you. You've already completed yourself, and that is magnetic. We live in a world full of noise, men trying to impress, trying to prove, trying to be alpha, but none of that lasts. Unshakable confidence is rare because it can't be faked. It's forged in fire. It comes from knowing that no matter who stays or leaves, you will remain whole, centered, unapologetically yourself. And when you carry that energy, not only will others respect you, you will finally respect yourself. Number 4, decisive leadership, the anchor in chaos. In every relationship, there's an unspoken current, an invisible rhythm that either flows with confidence or crashes in confusion. And whether we acknowledge it or not, someone always sets that tone. If you're passive, the rhythm turns erratic. If you're firm and focused, it becomes steady. Women are incredibly intuitive to this, more than they'll ever verbalize. They don't want to lead the emotional ship through storm after storm. Deep down, what they're searching for is a man who knows the direction, especially when life throws chaos their way. Leadership doesn't mean barking commands or being emotionally numb. It's not about dominance, it's about direction. It's the way you make decisions with conviction. It's when you say, "We're going to figure this out," instead of freezing in fear. It's in the little things. Choosing the restaurant, making the travel plans, solving the problems instead of avoiding them. She doesn't want to always carry the mental weight. She wants to rest in your certainty. When a man leads with calm, clarity, she feels safe. Not because you're in control of her, but because you're in control of yourself. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's what decisive leadership is. It's action over hesitation. It's creating structure when everything feels like it's falling apart. A stoic man doesn't fold under emotional pressure. He becomes the anchor, the steady voice, the one who says, "We'll get through this," and actually means it. And here's the truth: when you embody that leadership, you stop chasing peace from the outside, because you've already built it within. And that inner peace, it becomes magnetic. 5. Life purpose. A mission bigger than her. There's a silent force behind every truly magnetic man, and that force is purpose. Not charm, not status, not the number of followers, but a mission, a direction in life that doesn't bend for comfort or approval. When a man is chasing something bigger than himself, he radiates clarity, and that clarity is rare in a world of distraction. He's not scrambling for validation. He's building something that outlives attention. That's the man who turns heads without trying. A man without purpose becomes reactive. He wakes up chasing women, pleasure, entertainment, anything to numb the fact that he's drifting. But a man with purpose, he becomes the anchor in a chaotic world. He's not trying to impress her. He's trying to build something real. Whether it's a business, a craft, a discipline, or a vision, his time is accounted for. His energy is invested. And women feel that. Because a man with a mission isn't begging for her time, he's inviting her into momentum. Marcus Aurelius said it with piercing truth. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. Purpose doesn't just give you goals, it gives you backbone. It teaches you discipline, delayed gratification, and dignity. And it reminds you that your life isn't about orbiting around someone else's approval. It's about creating impact. A man who walks with purpose isn't easily thrown off course by rejection, ghosting, or drama. Why? Because he's not waiting for life to happen. He's leading it. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need a 5-year plan written in stone. But you do need a direction, something that makes you wake up hungry. Because when you're lit up by something bigger than love, bigger than her, you become rare. And in a world of men chasing tension, the man who chases meaning becomes unforgettable. Not because he's trying to be, but because he can't afford not to be. 6. Emotional control. Power without the noise. Emotional control isn't about shutting down your feelings or pretending you don't care. It's about mastering the storm inside, so it doesn't control you. In a world screaming for immediate reactions, the man who can pause, breathe, and choose his response stands apart. This is the real power, not the loudest voice or the fiercest anger, but the calm command of your inner world. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus taught that, while we can't control external events, we always hold dominion over our judgments and reactions. This mastery is the bedrock of strength that no circumstance can shake. Think about the last time tension flared. Maybe at work, in a heated conversation, or when someone pushed your buttons. Most men explode or withdraw, losing themselves to the chaos of the moment. But the man who controls his emotions stands firm. He doesn't need to shout to be heard. His calm presence says more than any outburst ever could. This control creates space for clarity, for thoughtful action instead of reckless reaction. Women sense it deeply. They see a man who is not swept away by fear, jealousy, or anger, but who chooses his path with unwavering resolve. That stability is magnetic because it signals safety and trustworthiness in a world full of emotional hurricanes. Marcus Aurelius, the warrior philosopher, reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." When a man embodies this truth, he offers more than protection. He offers sanctuary, not because he suppresses his emotions, but because he honors them without letting them dictate his every move. He becomes a rock, a beacon of calm that invites her to be real, to be vulnerable without fear of judgment or chaos. And in that space, true connection flourishes. Master your emotions, and you don't just survive life, you lead it. This is the silent force that wins hearts, commands respect, and defines true masculinity. Conclusion. So here's the truth most men miss. Attraction isn't bought, it's earned. Not through money or status, but through character, clarity, and calm. The man who lives with presence, who builds himself daily, who leads with purpose, and loves without losing himself. That man doesn't need to chase women. They'll find him, and they'll stay. Not because of what he gives, but because of who he is. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom on relationships and self-mastery, and drop a comment below. Which of these 6 traits are you building right now? Until next time, stand firm, stay grounded, and keep rising.